to Telling the Tale. I'm your host, Mitchell Farley Wolf. This is the podcast where we go through every single one of Telltale's episodic video games released between 2004 and when they went out of business in 2018. I'm joined here, as always, with my co-host, Dustin Jackson. How's it going, Dustin?
Mitch, do you think in the future we're just going to get so sick of each other by the time we're, at the end of this podcast? Like, near the end, you'll be like, Dustin, how are you doing? And I'll be like, how the fuck do you think I'm doing? I'm doing the same I do you ask this every week.
Are you hinting that you feel that way now? Is that what
No,
you're
I don't
trying to
feel
tell me?
that. I know, I don't feel that way now. I'm just wondering if by the end we'll just be, so done.
I didn't think we would. I thought we'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I just had the thought the other day. I was like, I hope not. I don't think it will, but, I don't know the future.
So are you...
I don't know the future.
Is that a pun for this? I don't know the future?
No.
Okay, you said it as if I was supposed to, and that's related to the episode. It's not.
I guess you could say I was just doubling down.
Okay, all right. This is CSI Hard Evidence, Case 2, Double Down. So, I know what you may be thinking. When we started CSI Hard Evidence, we said before we put an episode on it out, that we'd try to get as many cases in at, one episode of the podcast at a time. And so far, we've done 2 podcast episodes on 2 levels of the 5-level game.
Yeah, this episode's gonna get a little sweaty, I think.
Yeah, so here's the deal. There's 2 reasons why we might put more than one Telltale game in one podcast. And they both need to be true. The first is that we just don't have that much to say about each individual episode, but maybe we can talk for a podcast about the whole game. I think that would be true for CSI.
I think so too, because, there's some stuff to talk about, but boy, this ain't gonna be one of your jam-packed ones, folks. I'm sorry.
Well,
but sometimes you're just gonna get that. It's fine. I feel like it's okay to just have a shorter podcast sometimes.
A lot of what we talked about last episode sort of applied to the whole game.
Yeah.
The differences between 3 Dimensions of Murder, how the homicide detection systems in this game have progressed and how they've changed. All that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's been good. It's been cool to see that grow. That said, each individual case, we have the plots, and we can talk about how we feel about those. And there is some stuff to go over, but it's not that thick. It's just not. It's not that interesting to go over.
Yeah, there's just so much less to it than your average Telltale episode. There's just not that much to talk about, but it's not like it's totally empty. There's enough stuff. I just want everyone to know, and I'm sure you know already, given that you probably saw the runtime of this episode, that this ain't gonna be no Walking Dead Season 1 Episode 5.
Right. It is not that specifically. That's the first reason. We might not have much to talk about, so we just put them all into one podcast so we can get, the whole conversation going. The second reason is that they're really fast.
Mitch, before you continue, I have something really important I want to say, but I'm going to save it for after this part 2. So don't let me forget.
Okay.
Don't let me forget.
Well, I said it, though. I'll
say it again.
The second reason is if the games themselves go by really fast. I think Jurassic Park was a great example of fitting both those categories so well. We had to put the entire season into one episode of the podcast.
And even then, I don't think that episode was as long as the aforementioned Season 1, Episode 5 of Walking Dead. That was our longest episode. That was longer than talking about all of Jurassic Park.
Right, yeah. So it's that second reason that's really preventing us from just knocking these all out at once and putting them in one big podcast. Because it's hard to get through them. Yeah,
I am having a better time with these than three dimensions of murder, but that doesn't make it like the best experience to play.
So what is the thing that you wanted to say?
Oh yeah, so I said earlier that I had something important to say. You know that one GIF of it's like Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta, and they're both smiling and they're both just kind of doing this head bobbing animation.
Yeah.
I like that one, and I just caught myself doing that sort of head bobbing motion.
You really interrupted the podcast for it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I think you do this a little more subconsciously than I do it, and I do it on purpose, but we both do it where we know that we're going to be talking about like, oh, this isn't one of the better ones. You're just like, oh, the podcast shouldn't be either.
Yeah, fuck this. No, I do feel like in the back of my mind, I did say to myself, you know what? This is not going to be a long episode. Why don't you try beefing it up a little by talking about this GIF you enjoy?
You did beef it pretty hard.
Thanks.
Case 2 is called Double Down. The thing is, if we keep beating around the bush, it actually won't be that short. But let's dive in. It's called Double Down. Your partner, you're always assigned a partner in these cases, is Catherine from the show, who's a really smarmy woman who talks sort of like this. Is that a good Catherine? Is that a good approximation of Catherine's vibe?
Maybe. I don't remember how she sounded.
Oh, you commented on it a lot. How she would just be like, wow, someone let the cat out of the bag here.
Someone screwed the pooch on this.
Someone really pissed the bed on this one.
Someone really wrestled a bear.
So she's fun when she was kind of fun. Just to
she's not as good as the last guy, but she's okay. I do like that we have a different person each case.
She's evocative of Samantha from Sex and the City, if you've ever seen that. Just the way that Samantha's always throwing in little sexual innuendos and being like, well, think about sex.
Hey, I don't watch Sex in the City. I experience it. Okay.
I thought everyone would.
I don't watch Sex in the City. I experience it.
Yeah, it's only been off the air for 20 years. I thought you'd get around to it.
I'm busy. I got these Telltale games.
So here's the case. A woman was stabbed in the stomach repeatedly in her own bed. Turns out, in a bold departure from the normal CSI formula, she's still alive.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy this story as much as the first one, but I did like that they're kind of mixing it up a little bit. I thought it was good.
Yeah, so she's still alive to talk about this attempted murder.
Unfortunately, she did not get a good look at her attacker.
Her attacker was wearing a mask and was good at stabbing, and both of those things combined made her pretty unaware of her whole situation while she was being stabbed. Can't blame her. So, as always, there are 3 suspects. Always got to bring in the boyfriend.
Of course.
So Connie's boyfriend Shane left the apartment that morning, and apparently right after he went to work is when this happened. Or after he said he went to work. Also, Shane's boss at the casino that he and Connie both work at is Everett Brower, who's this obscenely rich magnate. And he's a fun character. He's just like, oh, well, I guess you can say that. That sort of guy.
You coming into my home and accusing me of hurting this.
Of murder. His accent is as all over the place as our attempts at his accent.
Yeah, how would you describe this kind of person?
Well, so he's deep Southern of some sort. He is a black man.
Old money.
He's very old money, but somehow also a little Beverly Hillbillies. Yeah, he's got a whole a whole swath of personality traits on him.
I will say this game does a much better job at giving its characters personality than the last one.
I think that is true across the board.
These people are characters.
Yeah. So he's probably in his 70s. Like he's an older guy for sure. And he's dating this woman who's like maybe early 30s. Nicole Brower. Or married to Nicole Brower.
Yeah, she apparently likes him.
Yeah, for the money, but like other stuff, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, it sure seems, they sure build it up to seem like, for reasons we'll get into, it sure feels like they're trying to make her like actually into him.
Yeah.
When I feel like there's no way, but they really try to. To me, it doesn't even come across as like her lying. It just comes across like that's what they actually wanted her to be like.
But it's just unbelievable. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I kind of feel that, especially given what Nicole is like. Nicole is a very gaslight girl power boss sort of woman. She refers to Connie, who works at the casino with her husband, as the help because she's just in such a higher class than her.
The help.
Yeah. To the point where when you accuse Nicole of maybe being inside of this situation the first time, because you accuse everyone like 5 times before you're allowed to arrest someone. The first time Nicole's brought in for questioning, she's like, that nobody? Why would I even waste the time?
Yeah.
I don't...
She really does strike me as like a valley girl, sort of like if you were talking to her, she'd be like filing her nails and like sticking her hand out and eyeing her nails.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't care.
Well, there's a pretty good moment. The first time you go to the Brower estate, Everett Brower is talking to you standing up, like a person. And then Nicole is like laying down on the couch, just watching you talk to her while you're standing up.
Yeah. I keep wanting to call them the Browsers.
Sure. Do it.
Yeah, every single time their name popped up on screen, I was like, oh, the Browsers. Oh, wait a minute. There's no S in there.
I think that you can do that as long as our listeners are fulfilled in the knowledge that we've told them the correct thing once. So you can start lying to them if you want. Yeah, say other names.
Cool. Schmitty Handle.
Cool. So
thanks.
On the surface level, everyone's like a little bit suspicious already. The boyfriend just left for work. Maybe he didn't leave for work. Nicole's got a jealous streak. Everett is texting Nicole on her downtime, which seems like, okay, maybe they're flirting, and then Nicole would get jealous, or Everett would get jealous and want to like silence the problem. Everyone could do it. And then they throw this completely other thing in there.
Yeah, this episode gets really weird really fast.
Yeah, they do a completely different like subtextual plot where you find out Connie was pregnant when she was stabbed in the stomach. You didn't know that at first. The baby was in critical condition, and then later on in the episode, the baby miscarries. That's pretty steep for a Telling the Tale podcast.
Yeah, that is some heavy subject matter. I guess, I guess credit to him for going there and doing it.
Why? What?
I don't know.
Why do they get credit for just making shit up?
Just because they haven't before.
Yeah, this is the
because
first
they haven't. And I
episode
didn't
with a
expect
miscarriage.
it.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think
give them the miscarriage award.
I wonder, is that true? That we've covered at least.
I don't think there's any others. Definitely not before this.
Walking Dead could have one. No, I think you're probably right. But so you find out that she's pregnant, and you're like, oh, that's a thing. So then you talk to Shane, and then Shane's like, oh yeah, our baby. And then you talk to Connie, and then you find out like through a bunch of digging via all the evidence that's in there just that you're just picking up all the time. You're just picking up evidence like an evidence little vacuum. You find out the deeper story here is that it's Everett Brower's baby, but there was no affair.
Yeah, she's just carrying the baby for him because he wants an heir to his fortune, and the baby that his now wife has is a girl, and he wants an heir that's a boy. So she is carrying this other baby for him, a surrogate mom. And boy, what a weird episode.
Yeah, so the Shane and Connie dynamic is that Shane's surrounded by wealth all the time, so he wants to live in wealth, but like he just can't yet. Like he's even got some money, but they haven't been able to move out of their sort of smaller apartment into something more statelier.
Mm-hmm.
So Connie wanted to just, start the family, move out, get stuff going. So she heard from Everett Brower, like, hey, if I can artificially inseminate you and guarantee it's a male, I'll give you $1 million. Which is, I think they wrote it into the episode as $1 million, I think because that's just the generic large amount of money.
$1 million.
I would think to do this specific thing for this guy and also be sworn to secrecy the whole time, I would want more money.
I would want more money in general, but $1 million, I would do a lot for $1 million.
Sure.
Mitch, for $1 million, would you eat an entire gorilla?
Yeah.
I've asked the Idaho boys this before. This is like a recurring question.
Okay, so I said yeah instantly, but then I thought about it for even more than 1 second, and I'm torn.
You have to eat it within 2 weeks. You can't just say I'll get to it.
Okay, so there's a lot of different kinds of difficulty going on in there because there's the physical eat a lot difficulty, and then also, they're so human.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, that would be the part that would be hard. I mean, I can eat food over time. That's
when it's in the cage, it's sign languaging sad to you.
Every bite? That's crazy. This is terrible.
No,
I won't do it.
This is before the grill is cooked.
How much food do you think you eat in 2 weeks that you think you could possibly do this in 2 weeks?
All right, 3 weeks.
It's 900 pounds. That's how many
I'm being pretty forgiving.
That's more than 4 of me. So this gorilla is how long would it take me to eat more than 4 times my own weight in pure meat? It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot of time.
All right, let's say you have 2 months. Would you eat a gorilla for $1 million?
No, I'm stuck up on them being too human.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's a good way to think of it. $1
million also,
How about $2 million?
We have to keep doing the podcast, and if we
haggle
the exact number, it'll take too long.
I'm sorry. I'll just assume it's 2 million.
Because obviously, yes for $1 billion, and I think no for $1 million. So yeah, you're right. There's a number in there, but I just
we'll figure it off.
You can't say no.
Show.
$1 billion is so astronomical. You could never say no to that, and then $1 million is I could reasonably make $1 million in a certain number of years of my life, not a small number of years, but eventually it's not there's a big difference, and there's obviously some point. Yeah, I'll eat a gorilla for some money, but I don't want to.
We'll work out the details after the show.
Sure. It'll be in the description.
Yeah.
And you'll be wondering, oh, that's what that one number means.
Huh, I get it now.
So yeah, Everett Brower, in secret, without telling Shane, Connie's boyfriend, or Nicole, his wife, arranged for Connie to be artificially inseminated with a male heir. Nicole is pregnant with a girl this whole time. And
Yeah.
I think while we were playing, we were like, now I know this game is over a decade old, but like, is it that old that like I can't just assume that this guy doesn't think it's ridiculous to maybe teach a daughter how to business? You could teach a daughter how to business.
Well, this guy's old money. He comes from, some old traditional values. I can definitely see him saying, no, it has to be a boy. It has to be a boy.
Yeah, that's weird. It's like...
Keep in mind, he's old. He is an old guy. So I feel like everyone else in this time might be more on board. It's like, yeah, you can have a female heir, but he's like, no, I don't think so.
There's that, and then also the fact that you... Here's another wrinkle. Everett is dying. He's...
Oh, yeah.
Slowly, and he seems like fine right now, but he's got some sort of did they say cancer? It seems like a
I don't remember the exact cause. I think they might have left it vague and just said, I'm dying.
Yeah, it seems cancer-ish.
Yeah.
They might not have said that, but that's the vibe they're giving off. And that's the reason Nicole can't just have another kid, because he might not even make it to see either of these children be born.
Yeah, I think they said he has like a year left.
Yeah. So that's the wrinkle. Shane didn't know it wasn't his kid. So that's, yeah. So Shane, Nicole, and Everett. Which one did it? Nicole did it. Nicole stabbed Connie in the stomach a lot because she wanted to kill the baby specifically, which is why Connie probably didn't die from it, and the baby did. Yeah, because that was Nicole's goal the whole time. She didn't know.
That's sad. I don't like that.
It is, well, it's a murder, like it's gonna be it's gonna be a bummer.
But it's like kill an adult shithead. Do you think they all hated this baby? Like, is this another case where they just all hated the victim?
Well, Nicole certainly did.
That baby sucked. It wasn't born yet, but you could just tell.
I mean, you're right, though. This is a break from all of the other times in the CSI cases we've played so far that they've said definitively and earnestly that the victim is just a real sleazeball, just the worst person.
Yeah, every time it's like, yeah, this person, fuck them.
Yeah, spitting on their corpse in the morgue. They just hate these guys. I mean, the last one was a literal Nazi. So yeah, that's why Connie couldn't have died. She's too good of a person.
In the last episode, literally Satan is gonna be dead.
Oh, we're working our way up. Ooh, crossover with Sam and Max Satan?
Yes!
That'll be good.
Yeah, he's gonna say, I'm Satan. At the end, it'll be this big twist where he's like, yeah, I'm Satan, I can't die. Got ya.
Satan, from Sam and Max?
From off of Sam and Max?
So I wrote here in my notes, this is like right before the big reveal that Nicole did it. I'm getting frustrated with how equal the odds on all the suspects always are. I could understand why they would think that's good writing, but I think it's not cool to like not give the player any kind of indication of figuring out before like the game just tells you.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I guess at the end of the day, it would be good writing because it's like, oh, it can be anyone, and then it keeps you guessing. But I feel like there should probably be a little more. I don't know. It's
if it can actually be anyone, and then they just say some random like stuff. That's just doing random stuff. That's not a story. I felt this way about mystery novels for a long time. If the idea is getting caught up in a mystery, like that's the appeal, you have to let the audience play detective. You have to let them be able to say like, well, I think this person did it because of this. It's like, oh yeah, you found the really like subtle clue. You did a good job being an audience member. And all of these are murder mysteries, and all of these are just like, whatever at the end. We're just going to pick one, and that's going to be the one.
You just get the clue that incarcerates someone, like, right before it happens. It's just suddenly like, arrest warrant for this person.
Yeah.
We picked who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't even let you figure it out. It just tells you who did it.
Yeah, they try to put a moral on each one, too. So I guess the moral on this one that, like, the people from the show are talking to each other after the case. They're like, well, you know what this was really a problem with? Poor communication. It's not rich versus poor. It's poor communication.
The dangers of being foolhardy.
If Everett and Connie just told Shane and Nicole what they were doing, Nicole wouldn't have stabbed Connie a lot of times in the stomach.
Just goes to show you, I guess.
Yeah, it's so crazy that, like, these detectives feel comfortable being like, well, from my ivory tower, I can tell that what Connie's mistake in getting stabbed in the stomach is not being transparent enough in her marriage. Like, now she's the problem. Now it's her fault.
I got fucking stabbed in the stomach 6 times.
Yeah, like, just let Nicole be the one that's bad. She killed the baby, and she stabbed the woman in the stomach. Just let her be bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it helps to give her a motivation. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess it would also suck to just have her be like, I just hate babies.
Yeah. I have a quote from Nicole when she's, like, admitting to have done it. She was like, well, I was trying to kill the baby. Connie? A non-entity like her? I don't care.
A non-entity. Jesus Christ.
Connie's a non-entity.
That's so mean. Like, my feelings would be hurt if someone called me a non-entity.
Yeah. My feelings, and then also my stomach a lot.
I'd be like, hurt. Jesus. Oh yeah, from on account of the stabs.
On account of the multiple stabs, yeah. Are we ready to head into segments?
Yeah, I guess. I guess so.
I have a golden moment.
What's your golden moment, Mitch?
My golden moment is when you go to the Brower estate for the first time, and Nicole's just, like, chilling on the couch while you're interrogating her, and she just doesn't give a shit, which is it's amplified further in retrospect because she was the person. She was the suspect that did it.
Yeah, she had a good poker face. She was like,
she had an amazing poker face of, like, just kicking her high heels off and snuggling up with the couch cushions.
And just sighing smugly.
Yeah. And just saying, like, she said something about, like, oh, Connie, someone should suffocate her. And then, then the detectives are like, well, you're lucky it wasn't suffocation, but she was stabbed several times in the stomach. And then she goes, oh, I didn't mean it. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Ah, shucks.
And she did. She did mean it.
Yeah, she did attempt to kill this person.
Yeah. So that's my golden moment.
Well, she didn't attempt to kill this non-entity.
Yeah.
She did kill the baby.
Do you have a golden moment?
Gotta be honest, Mitch, not really. And the reason for that is because since I was the one playing the game on stream for you, I took 0 notes. You've been doing the heavy lifting with the notes while I do the heavy lifting with the gameplay. And so, boy, even when we just started out this episode, I was like, I don't remember a single thing about this episode and what happened. I mean, as we talked about it, I remembered everything. But, you know what I'll say my golden moment is when we found that coat rack that didn't look like anything.
I was going to give you that as a hint of, like, what could be your golden moment. Yeah.
I was so baffled at what it could possibly be. It turned out it was a coat rack, but, like, early on there's no code on it and you can click on it, but there's nothing to do there. So I'm just like, is this like art?
Yeah, it looks more art than coat rack for sure.
I kudos on making a cool looking coat rack. I guess it was just frustrating gameplay wise.
That's such a, like, in a rich person's house thing. You think, like, ooh, what's this piece? And, like, it's where I put a coat.
That's a coat rack.
That is where my coat goes.
Yeah, their house was
big.
Yeah,
and it didn't
sure
really
was.
make sense, the layout of the whole thing.
You know what was weird about it too is it felt like it was like a big rich person house, but designed to look like a poor person house. Like their kitchen and their living room just feels like a normal house.
In every
Like,
one of
you
these
just go
cases,
over
the
it-
kitchen and the living room are the same room.
Yeah.
Every time.
They all look the same. And you just go over and there's just like the table with the laptop on it. And it's like, cool furnishings, guys.
Yeah.
Nice coat rack. Yeah, that's my golden moment. It's not much of one, but it made me laugh.
The way laptops look is a good unifier of the classes. Like, you don't get a special looking laptop. You just kind of... A laptop looks like what a laptop looks like.
I guess at the end of the day, they're just like us.
Laptops are just like us. My weekly guy, I gotta give to Everett Brower, who's just like this weirdly crusty piece of shit guy that he was the most fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, it's mostly his voice performance that was great.
Yeah.
It's this old Southern, old money voice. You know, I just talk like this.
My heart just about broke when I found out I'd be giving birth to a girl.
Oh, my darling.
Like, what a fake person. I think I like him because of just like how cartoony he is in this world.
Yeah. This whole game feels like it's filled with cartoony people, and I like that. It's a big step up from just the boring slabs in the first game. Mitch?
Sorry, I was talking to someone for just a moment.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't my problem.
Did you ask me a question?
No.
Okay. I'll throw it back in. Dustin, is that your weekly guy as well?
I believe that is my weekly guy as well.
Okay.
I can't think of anyone better in this.
It's one for the books.
Nicole is okay.
Nicole is close for me, for sure.
Yeah, she's... Because, again, she's just such a cartoony archetype of a character.
Yeah. A lot of these characters are just so arch. Like, in the first case of Hard Evidence, you got Ed Freeborn, who is absolutely some sort of weird 1970s adult animation thing. Like, he's Fritz the Cat, but of real life, and...
Hey, man.
Yeah, and I hope they keep that up in the next case.
I do too. I could see myself having a sort of soft spot for this game with its improvements and its memorable characters.
All right.
We'll see.
We'll see. Until next time, I'll see you later.
Yeah, goodbye.